Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Sir Cypher here. Let's play Company of Heroes Tiger Ace. And this is a short mini campaign that's based off of the exploits of Michael Whitman, who was a German Tiger Ace during the Second World War. And specifically a incident where he destroyed about 30 British tanks and armored vehicles in the span of about 10 minutes at the beginning of the Normandy campaign. So as ridiculous as this seems, what you're about to see of this mission, it's actually almost entirely true. Now the names have been changed for reasons you'll see at the end of the campaign, but other than that, it's essentially a real thing that happened.
It was a red dawn the morning our Tiger tank first arrived on the front lines.
Panzerabteilung 503 reports T-34s entering our sector.
Confirmed. Load APC rounds. Hold motor.
Hydraulic takeoff 600 PS to joint. Target acquired.
Fire at will.
There she is. Come to Papa. Round up. Shot out.
Bernd, radio HQ. The Stahlvormund has 2 more kills.
Jawohl. I have a pack 1 kilometer out.
Engage.
Turning turret. Low ground.
It was there on the Eastern Front we made a name for ourselves. By the spring of '44, we had been redeployed to the Western Front. France. I gave orders to move at first light, directing the bulk of my Panzer company ahead to point 213. The Stahlvormund was moving slowly. We had engine trouble.
Brand new motor and it runs like Scheiße. Just keep the turret powered. Great. Turret for targets to be cut. Right.
Britische Panzergruppen!
Confirmed. Bereit. Ready for combat. Achtung, Tigergruppe. Tigergruppe to 400 PS. Oh. Schnell.
Now, one thing that's going to feature prominently in this mission is this sort of, it's basically a gimmick, but this direct fire option you have, and you see where the tank follows my mouse cursor around, and when I shoot, there's a little ring that goes around the mouse cursor that indicates the reloading. So that is something that we're going to be using a lot, because when you use that you basically have 100% accuracy. As long as you actually click on the vehicle, you basically never miss. Man, that's a tough armored car. So I sort of have a crush on the Tiger tank. I think it's really cool.
What was that? What's happening to the Tiger? Oh, this motor has stalled out. Just give me a moment. Keep this tank running. We can't afford a breakdown now. Yes, Herr Hauptmann.
So periodically,
Engage all enemy vehicles coming down the road. Don't let them pass.
your Tiger tank will have breakdowns in this mission,
Panzer. Mark. Engaging.
which is pretty historically accurate. The Tiger was pretty prone to mechanical breakdowns. And while they're fixing it, your Tiger tank will be immobile. The Tiger tank is sort of interesting because it was a tank that wasn't really ever intended to be like a mass production tank. The Germans already knew that the Panther was going to be their main tank, their battle tank.
Ready. Starting engine. Contact. Loading round. For the fatherland. Communication stations. Prepare for contact.
But the Tiger tank was intended to be for sort of the elite of the elite. The most powerful tank Germany could make at the time. So it sacrificed armor, or not armor, but ease of production and cost and all of that for just capability.
Convoy destroyed. Excellent, men. Headquarters will be delighted. Our engine! Halt!
The fools act as if they've won the war already. Prove them wrong. Bern, radio silence. Get ready on the Holland G. Lietzke, be ready to load specified rounds. Schultz, target enemy panzers and packs. Make every round count. Strike hard and clear the village of all enemy armor.
So a short sort of thing. The upgrade path for these missions is kind of cool because it's a different one for each member of the crew besides the commander, which is you. The first ones I'm going to get is the loader upgrades, which lets me get HE rounds and also reload rounds faster. And I'm also going to have the commander poke his head out of the top so he can do that. And Tigers were effective not only because they were a very powerful tank, but also because they only took the best crews. You didn't go into the army to be a Tiger, or the German army to be a Tiger crewman. They took the crewmen from only the most battle-proven units and tanks. So it was sort of like the special forces of tanks, which we don't really normally think of.
Motor to 400 PS. Take motor to 400 PS. Take motor to 400 PS. Arno, get us moving. Yes, Hauptmann. Contact anti-tank guns. Eliminate them. Tell me this. Heavy fire, right side. Loaded. Checking manifold pressure. Loaded. Acquire new target.
So the secondary objective for this mission is to destroy anti-tank guns, which we are definitely going to do. And you'll see right here, we have HE rounds now, which are pretty effective against buildings and infantry, not so effective against tanks.
Power off the motor. Power motor. Halt motor.
So the enemy has some troops that are in place, like for example these Cromwells, but and something that is actually pretty historically true, the Tiger can engage at ranges that it can't respond effectively at. Obviously the way this game is designed, the ranges are much shorter, but the Tiger, not only because it had such a powerful gun, but because it had very good optics,
Does anyone else want to destroy those civilian vehicles? Let's have some fun,
could engage targets at ranges that they couldn't fight back at.
Let's go.
Now I see right here, one problem that the Tiger did have is it would get stuck
Take
places.
us over there. Take us
So
over
hopefully
there.
my Tiger will get unstuck. One misconception that people kind of have is that the Tiger was slow.
Move it.
The Tiger wasn't really that slow. It was about the same speed as most of the Allied battle tanks.
Right side.
But one thing it did do is it did break down a lot. Because it was very complicated. It was sort of rushed into production and wasn't really designed for, ease of repair or economics or anything like that. They were just like, we're going to make a badass tank. And that's what it is. There's infantry all around me, but they can't really hurt me. They can't hurt my mighty Tiger tank.
Ready the cannon. How's working? All right.
So I can't hit this guy because there's a wall in the way, but if I blow up the wall, should take him out.
Move! Halt! Los! Kanone ready! Fire on target! Handwagen Kanone! Target confirmed!
So yeah, his AT gun has a wall in front of it, but if I blow up all this cover, I should be able to take it out.
Keep this tank running! We can't afford a breakdown now! Engine! Motor to 450 PS!
So blow up that AT gun. There's another AT gun driving down the road.
Keep your eyes open!
I'll take that out too.
Halt! Los!
And now there's a Cromwell trying to get from behind me. But one interesting thing about the Tiger is that it had actually very good armor protection from all angles. I mean, obviously the rear armor was not as strong as the front armor, but it was still more powerful than most tanks. The Panther, for example, had very weak side and rear armor, but the Tiger had pretty strong armor all around. The biggest problem with the Tiger is that it didn't have sloped armor. As you can see, the front of the Tiger is just like a box.
Watch him shoot. Enemy panzers ahead.
And okay, so here's these British troops are armed with Boys anti-tank rifles, which I'm not sure why they decided that this was a special thing they needed to do, because they don't appear in the normal game. But the Boys anti-tank rifle was an early war British anti-tank gun. Why am I not hitting this tank? I guess there's a lot of stuff in the way. And it basically, it would do nothing to a Tiger. The max armor penetration for the Boys anti-tank rifle, I think, is something like 25 millimeters. And the Tiger had that nowhere. And I mean, that wouldn't even go through the roof of the tank. So the best that you could hope for with one of those is destroying maybe like a vision slit or something. But the British actually phased them out pretty early in the war. So this is supposed to be 1944. So I'm not sure why they're showing up. The British phased them out in favor of the Piat. So, for as far as upgrades go, I'm gonna get the two. Actually, I'm gonna get the whole machine gun upgrade.
Panzer motor to 400 PS.
The radio operator in Tiger tanks also doubled as the machine gun operator. You see the machine gun poking out of the front.
Move, Tigergruppe. Yes, sir.
And so, normally in the normal game, Tigers get that automatically, but in this version, you have to kind of buy it with the points. Again, as ridiculous as this seems, this is really a thing that basically happened. It says there's some more British tanks over here, so we'll go scope it out.
Oh no, move out! Take motor to 400 PS. Take us over there. Halt motor. Kanone loaded. Halt motor. Oh no, engine status.
Although it looks like our engine has gotten messed up again.
Wer flicks Frenchman pissing on our tank? This is a magic tank. I know it.
Looks like this Brent carrier has a suicide wish.
Panzer! We'll load if I went in range! We need smoke cover! Launch the smoke barrage!
It says launch a smoke barrage. I'm not going to, because there's no need.
Exhaust clean!
So my crew are fixing the tank as I'm blasting all of these
Panzer! Firefly!
crude British machines.
Fire! 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 Here it is. Clogged fuel
Waiting for this
filter.
Cromwell
Just
to
give me a
drive
minute.
through the wall so I can
Yes,
blast
yes,
it.
quickly! Ready! Starting engine! Come on, mein Fräulein. Give Papa some love. Yes. You big bastard.
So this Firefly over here actually has a chance of hurting my
Drive the
tank.
for another day.
So I'm gonna have to take it out. And also this other Firefly is flanking me. If you're wondering, is this mission really easy? It is. This mission is like basically just designed to be fun. Because none of these guys can even remotely inconvenience the Tiger tank. I mean, historically, a Sherman Firefly
Firefly knocked out.
was actually
Stand down. Arno, get us out of the village and make for 213. Litzke, kill count. 40 kills, heilige Scheiße. Skill like this doesn't come easy.
Train broken, mister! Power turret! Sighting new target! Go down! Get out! He don't run! Load! Load! Stand down! Load the cannon! Achtung! Follow you! Grab munitions and mid bags! Deploy smoke! Tiger Robert! Abandoned tank!
So that was actually all pretty historically accurate. I mean, not in the way it played out, but in what actually happened in the aftermath is that this Tiger went on a rampage and destroyed dozens of tanks and armored vehicles. And that's actually how it stopped too. It was disabled by a British anti-tank gun. Now, what follows is all sort of fanciful, but it's still pretty fun. So there's that. So anyway, on to the second mission.